Alright, today we are trying out some JeskEYE. Haha. Get it? JeskEYE. This is a JeskEYE helping hand deck using Abhorrent Oculus. And instead of having Haughty Djinn, we're trying out Lilah. So Lilah is a 3-mana 3/3 with prowess that says whenever you cast a multicolored instant sorcery from your hand, you can plot it. Which means you get to do double duty and get to play these cards twice. So we have Slick Sequence, which is deal 2, draw a card if you cast another spell this turn. And then, of course, Lightning Helix, deal 3, gain 3. So these can be nice against things like the red decks. Also, it's just easy to burn people out. Like when you're doubling these spells, every Helix deals 6, every one of these deals 4. Also, you're getting the prowess, so it's easy to just kill people that way. And they're nice defensively. Also, both of these cards play incredibly well with the card found in the third path, which I wanted to try in conjunction with the Oculus. It's just a great way to get cards in your graveyard. Maybe you play a Surveil Land on turn 1, mill card, and then you could play this to cast a Lightning Helix, deal with one of their creatures, then mill 4, and by the time turn 3 comes around, you already have six cards in your graveyard. Also, it can just flashback Helping Hand, it can mill over your 3-drops. I just think it's a great card in this deck. You do have to be careful, because it does make you somewhat more vulnerable to graveyard hate, but that's one of the nice things about Lilah, is no part of Lilah is vulnerable to Rest in Peace or Leyline of the Void, compared to Haughty Djinn, where Haughty Djinn's just not going to have any stats. It's just going to be a 0/4 that can block and not do much else. And then we've got Into the Flood Maw to bounce Leyline, Soul Partition that can just deal with whatever. A Moment of Truth, obvious. Picklock Pranksters. One of the advantages of being red over just blue-white is more cheap interaction. Blue-white has really, really bad removal spells. So we get to play with Torch the Tower, which is nice. And then I'm trying some mentors just to see how they feel. Mana base is, well, it's what you'd expect. It's not perfect, but I do like playing all these Surveil lands. I don't know if it's worth putting off-color Surveil lands in your Oculus deck. It might be, but one of the problems with this deck after rotation is you don't have cheap cantrips or ways to get your 3-drops in your graveyard on turn 1. Like your broken draws are always Helping Hand on turn 2. So these lands help with that. And they also complement the new Verges. We've got 2 Verges, only 6 of these, but it's fine. These are just effectively plains. A basic to be able to tutor up, and then an assortment of fast lands and pain lands. Side deck, 2 Elspeth Smites, some Doorkeeper Thrulls, Negates for control, Pyroclasm is another card you get out of red. That's kind of nice. So if you play against like Lizards or Convoke, this card can be good. I'm not sure how good it is versus the Leyline decks. It can be good. I don't think you should board in all 4. For example, I think Temporary Lockdown is much better. But I think it's worth considering, especially when you're on the play versus those decks. And then some flankers for things like the Mirror, Lockdown, and then a Kitnap, which can be good against black decks with Shieldred, or things like the Mirror if you want to steal your opponent's Oculus. Just a solid mind control effect. But yep, that's the deck. This deck's sweet. If you just came here for the deck and you enjoy it, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the games. Peace. I'm mulligan this. Try this. Yeah, we'll try this. We can hope the Lilah lives, or we find a Helping Hand, I guess. Both plausible. Black, white. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Do need land. Yep. Fingers crossed it lives this time. It's a braids, sure. Decline. Alright, found a land. Not exactly the land we wanted, but I'm okay with that. I think that is good enough. Clear that, attack for 4. Yeah, I'm probably just jamming the Oculus. I was gonna say I might not even play it, but I could greed and then go Helix into sequence. And if I miss, I just... Yeah, I guess that's probably better. Alright, with this dead, now I play the Oculus. With the Lilah in play, I think it's somewhat legit to actually just play the spells because you're copying them, but this way I think it's fine. So we are safe to a Tithing Blade, but another spot removal spell is not ideal. Okay. So do they have this plus Tithing Blade? That would suck a lot. Nope. Alright, nice. Alright, let's find a land. We can kill them very quickly with our burn. Let's go upstairs, I guess. Okay. Just play this. You can burn them out next turn. So how much damage? This is 6 if this dies. So another Helix will win. We get 5 or 6 or whatever looks at it. Because we could draw step 4 here and redraw. But I guess I still would need an untap land, so that's not actually true. Sure. You have a bat. Sure, you have a braids. So we just have him dead in the air because we hit this. So let's Helix the flyer. Flipper guy. Alright, GG. Oculus and Oculus is just so disgusting. Alright, black, white, sack. Maybe they have the Viper, maybe they don't. I want these Thrulls. Do I want Negate? And do I want temporary lockdown? Lockdown's kind of a nombo, right? Like you eat all their stuff and then they just blow up your lockdown and get everything back. Get a bunch of triggers. Negate is somewhat curious. I'm going to put in Kitnap because I can steal braids or the Viper. I'm not going to put in lockdown. We're fine. Negate, I think you could put in, but I just want to be proactive. I just want to do more powerful things than them and win that way, I think. So you can just bounce a Viper. I do want ways to interact with the Viper. It seems potentially problematic. So that's 3. I'm not going to cut any of these. You can just cut cantrips. I don't think Torch is actually that good. Let's just scrap the torches. I don't think they're going to pressure me that quickly. Maybe they show me a different card. But for now, we'll just get rid of the torches, have some answers to the Viper, and then hope they don't have too much graveyard hate. Also, a lot of the things that answer the Viper also will answer some of their graveyard hate. Yep. Oh, baby. That's nice. That's the first time I've done that. Let's keep... All my cards are so insane. Just gonna discard that. Play Founding, play Helping Hand. back our Oculus we milled. So now, if this dies, we've got a backup one in hand, but this will also be able to flash back the helping hand. So that's Viper. Alright. I don't know if their Viper races us. We will see, though. So currently, it has a counter, which means... let me read this. One energy or attacks put a blight counter on it. Then for each blight counter on it, each opponent loses 4 life, unless player sacrifices a non. Okay, so we're gonna take 4 for now. I would like to mill 4. And then next turn we could just Soul Partition the Viper. Sack a 2/2, I suppose. And then block with the other one. Could even take 6. It's not that worrisome. Oh, so I have to keep sacking permanents. Okay, I guess I didn't exactly understand how it worked. Oh, I could discard. Oh, okay. Never mind. Or discards. Okay. Don't need this land. Could have just blocked it with all my stuff. All right. GG. All right, let's go first. This hand looks sweet. I will keep. You know, I think that's fine. Play a 1-drop, we're just gonna torch it. Show off, okay. Let's get this going. I know Mentor's maybe a little more appealing, but I do have Lightning Helixes to copy, so I'm going to put it into play. So, assuming that I will eventually find the card Lightning Helix. I don't need to kill them that quickly, I just need to not die quickly. Yep. Might be dead. Not dead. So, I guess what would have to happen for me to die? So double 3 pump and a cell sword is 16 damage. So I wasn't even necessarily risking dying. Well, I guess if we just brick it all off, then don't matter. Guess I'm blocking. Too late. Oh, we need to find a helping hand. Another Helix. That's not it. Well, if they just don't have anything, we could win with this. So let's pray for nothing. Hope that they drew like Leyline land or something like that. They don't have the Helix. I think I'm just making straightforward blocks if they attack. Could block the Scamp instead of the 2/2, but feels bad either way. Alright, cool. I think I can leave Helix up. And just, if they draw a spell, I can wait till they act. Not under any pressure. If they draw like a spell that protects their creature, I don't really care that much. As long as I'm getting good blocks. Sure. Okay. Helping Hand, eh? Alright. That might do him in. Get this. Knock this guy off. Now we've got a Helix in reserve. Pass, whatever. I think we're good to go. I mean, this is a bunch of damage. Like, they could trample. It's going to be 6. We eat 1. We're not going to die, so. Nice. Okay. Put in lockdown. I'm going to try the Pyroclasm. They're not perfect, but I want to play more with them, and I think they're okay. They're not the strongest thing, but they're not terrible. Alright, get rid of Mentor. It's too slow. I want all my interaction. I think I want all my foundings as well. So it's between Sleight of Hand and Helping Hand, I think. I think I'm gonna do this. Just because, like, even my nut draws with Helping Hand don't necessarily, like, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm gonna win because they're so good at killing me. But I do think it's important to have cheap plays, and obviously Helping Hand costs 1. But I think there's upside to having Sleight as well, due to the fact that I have all this cheap interaction. And I want to hit my land drops. So I want a mix of interaction and land drops, and Sleight can help with that. So we're going to split the difference there and just make it so I have 3 of the card I think is better, but 1 of the other one. I mean, this is just a war crime, playing tap lands in your Leyline deck. I kept this 1-lander like a psycho, by the way. I probably shouldn't have, but whatevs. We ball. I think we died. Helix, these cards are just so expensive. It's so funny playing like the format standard and having 2 mana cards and saying that they're way too expensive. You can't just put 2 mana cards in your standard deck. 3-year standard was a decision. I don't know. I think that this format is cool. I just wish that there was a format that you could play that felt like standard and not this format, because this format certainly is not. It doesn't feel like standard to me. Feels like Pioneer, kind of. Feels like extended, I guess, which is sort of the point. I think it would be cool if they just like made a format that was just alchemy minus the alchemy cards, though. I would probably play it a lot. I guess I won't block. We've got a lot of effective life if this stays in play. I should just block. I have Helping Hand. Overthought it. Such a contrast, by the way. How close am I to killing them? If I draw a land, are they just dead? I think I just attack. Should have blocked. What was it? What was I saying? Yeah, I think it would be cool. Like, I know that these sets aren't made for 2-year standard anymore, but it would be nice to have that option. Maybe you just want to break from whatever the hell it is. You don't want to play, like, historic or whatever. I just wish that there was, like, a lower power constructed format. This does not feel like a low power constructed format. I know my opponent's draw is, like, heinous and their deck looks terrible. But, like, getting killed on turn 2 certainly does not make it feel like a low power constructed format. And that's overstated, right? Like, it's not like you die on turn 2 often. It's more of the fact that it's possible. Like, it's not inconceivable to have that be a thing that happens to you. Alright, so if they find another pump spell, I'm just dead. And they did. So, like, look, it's so stupid, man. Like, it's not fun. I don't know, like, what people that design these cards are like, yeah, this is what's missing. I think you can make an argument that, like, these things make the metagame better because they push and pull in certain directions, but I feel like this red archetype is just way too much. You know, just, like, figure out a better way to do that. It's so funny that I lost that game. They had to get really lucky. But, yeah. If that had an untapped land, I would have just won. I also could have maybe played better if I wasn't ranting. But, yeah, I mean, that Leyland card is just such a joke. And, like, it's the same with Boros Convoke. There are these decks that just wouldn't be that big of a problem if Standard was smaller. But instead, you just get all of the options you want. Great. My hand's very good, at least. So, if we were on the draw, we would probably die. But on the play, I think we can win. Okay. Do I want to cycle? I think so. It's also somewhat appealing just to have the card in the graveyard. Yeah. I can't clear the board. Oh, I can now. I think I just clear the board. I don't want to die. I'm going to clear the board and hope that they do not have another creature. If they don't have a creature, we can just stick this. Cool. Could play Lilah. I'm not sure which is better. It's kind of close. Probably shouldn't overthink it. Just play the thing that gets value. But having this up, like, it's fine. I don't need 2 Lightning Helix. This is better. All that matters is that I don't die in one turn. Sure. So, it's somewhat awkward. I guess I will just pass because I can make this have 1 toughness. No, we have enough mana. Okay, never mind. I'm kind of saying nonsense. Alright, well, they're flooding. Play this. I think I'll just go after their creature. Even if they get a bunch of 2/2s. It's not that big of a deal for me. They don't have anything. And we got him. It's very easy to imagine a world where my opponent just had like 3 lands and all spells and just murdered me, but One of the things that I think that like people say that this card is like fine or it's not even that strong, whatever. They say a lot of things about it. I think people are just both bad at building these decks, bad at building side decks with them. It's really complicated, right? Like if you look what my opponent's done, they've put ley lines into play and then they've cast 1-for-1 attrition. So like you can't really do both of those things. I think you should either have less of this or be boarding out your ley lines, or just have like a new game plan. Like my opponent also has these like creature lands in their deck that don't make any sense. Like you shouldn't have like 19 lands and then a land that costs 4 mana to activate, for example. I just think it's nonsense. Okay, whatever. I guess this is sorcery speed. Okay, yeah. Just get rid of this attack. I'm AFKing on an opponent, which is kind of rude. I think I keep my clock up instead of the vigilance. I don't have any cards, so now I can maybe leave a blocker if I want, but we get to do Oculus. Kind of spewed. The blocker here, though, yeah, it doesn't matter. So what could they have with 2 cards that would kill me through a torch? I think it's impossible. So this is 9 and 12. But yeah, like for example, my opponent's deck wouldn't have Swift Spear or the other one drop that enables the turn 2 kill, the one that proliferates. So like this deck would still exist, but you wouldn't have to worry about as much nonsense. All right, GG's. Sorry for ranting, but you got to talk about something. So hope you guys enjoyed the deck. It's pretty fun. The mana's not perfect, but you get to play with a lot of sweet cards, and you get to play with Lilah, which I am a fan of. So as always, like and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.